Have you ever stopped to just look around and like notice the details? If you're on the train, if you're on the bus, like sit and notice what's going on and just really try to live in the moment, live in the moment. Have you ever actually done that as a person who creates and realize how much depth and personality and just life is infused into everything you see? Okay, so I don't think I'm going crazy. I am, however, reading The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. And this is a recap of the first week. And I'm so excited to talk about it. I'm kind of afraid this video is like, I don't know if people want to watch a video about this book, but I am going through it with this book and I want to share my experience. So I've done the first and second week, and in the course of that time, I have journaled every single day, written a few songs, and finished my storyboard for my third book. By the way, I illustrate children's books, but for adults, for your inner child. This one is about seasonal depression, and then this one is about self-expression. And you can buy them in the link below. And I'm working on my third one right now. But I want to talk about my first week going through. It's truly like, it's a course. It's not just like a book. Like, it is a book, obviously, but it's also a course. And so I am currently on the second week, but I want to recap the first week. And to recap it, basically this book is a spiritual path to higher creativity. What does that mean? I will say, as I am a little bit of an atheist, I will not lie. So some of those like language in the book is a little bit challenging for me. I am a bit more spiritually open, but I will say like God is mentioned a lot. And in the preface or like the intro, it does say like you can replace the word God with like universe, flow, whatever really floats your boat. You don't really have to believe in a higher power for the things in this book to help you creatively. But I will say the whole God thing, it's like, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. It's weird for me. So I have replaced the wording a little bit for me, like as the universe or like energy, whatever. I don't know, something's going on. So this is basically a course. I believe it's 12 weeks. And there are exercises and tasks and like assignments every week that you need to do. And the point is to kind of unlock and unblock your creative self and allow yourself to imagine, create, kind of understand yourself in a new way. One of the things that the book talks about, which I love, which I actually so agree with, is that everyone is creative. I agree with that. I feel like every single human is creative. I feel like to be a human, you are inherently creative. Problem solving is creative. Deciding what to eat for lunch is creative. Making like everything about life is creative. And I feel like when I meet people and they say, oh, I'm not creative, I just like, but I just saw you do something creative just now. So what's going on with that? Yeah, I'm on the first week, and the two main assignments for this week is morning pages, which you do throughout the whole course, I believe, and then taking your inner artist out on a date. The morning pages, basically, from what I understand, I'm gonna reread this book after I finish it for the first time. But it's basically writing 3 pages of your thoughts, just like free form, like whatever you're thinking about every single morning, as soon as you wake up. Hopefully, I've not been doing that because I've been having to do stuff at time getting away from me. But I have been doing the morning pages every single day. And I think later on in the book, it has like suggestions of what you can write about, like affirmations and that kind of thing. But I will say, as a side note for accessibility, because I am disabled, I sort of injured my wrist near the end of the first week. So if you have a wrist injury or you can't physically write for some reason, you can dictate it to your phone. You can also type. You can, just talk out loud. I feel like for me, I always try to be perfectionist in everything I do. So it felt really frustrating that I couldn't like do a full like page of writing every day, but like I truly could not because my wrist was like in a brace because it was injured. So feel free to adapt the assignments. I think the whole point is to do them and do them however works for you. Like there is an ideal way, but the best way is that you do them in whatever way works for you. And part of this is what like it talks about in the book is like writing these thoughts down every day makes you confront your problems, because at least for me, in the book talks about this, if you have a problem keeps coming up over and over and over again in your morning pages, you're gonna start looking at it and you're gonna start to want to do something about it. I have several very personal things that I have been dealing with, and morning pages, they're not even related to creativity, but they've been helping me so much. Just like think about things and like problem solving and thinking about things in a new way. So I've always tried to keep a practice of journaling every morning, but I will say I usually just do like one paragraph or like I'll write my dream because I like dream journaling, but it's slacking off a little bit. So this has been really helpful in setting back on course of being constant dialogue with yourself, which I think is so important as a creative person. So it's been really confronting and good and interesting, and yeah, I am having fun with it. I will say I'll probably like show some like vlogging or like art I made this week just as like a side note, because it is all about creativity and like creating stuff. And then the second major assignment was to do the inner artist date. And the first week I tried to go to a secondhand art supply store, but by the time I almost got there, it was like almost closed because I did not plan my time well. I ended up going to this like artisan store with a bunch of different like stickers and like figurines and stuff. It was like a Mexican American like art, like so many cool stuff. There was food, there's snacks, there's art, there's stickers. I gravitated towards the stickers, obviously, and because I love stickers, and I picked two out that kind of really like felt like my gender, and I was like, this really represents me. So I picked them out and then I stuck them in my journal, and then I wrote around the thoughts that I had for that day and kind of doodled around them, and that was my artist date. And it didn't go to plan, but it also was extremely fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited. I don't know what I'm gonna do for this week for my artist date because low-key it's a little bit stressful, but I think I'm gonna try to go to that art supply store this week finally. And that was interesting too because I felt like I was I will say I have connected with a certain part of myself through certain substances, certain plants. And one of those parts of myself is like my inner child, and that was very much out the whole day while I was doing my inner artist date, because like I feel like that side of myself is like so playful and fun and like just like kind of immature and like bored easily, and I was kind of entertaining that part of myself all day because I was like, this is the artist date, so I'm gonna entertain my inner artist in whatever way they want. And it was really cool and really weird and fun, and I liked it, and it was weird. So that was the first week, and obviously I've still been posting videos every week, and also writing and just doing a lot of creative work. I finished the storyboard for my third book, and I'm so excited. And like I feel like this is exactly the right time for me to read this book, because I'm in such a weird stage where I'm like, I want to create. Like the whole year this year was just, your goal is to create and publish. If you create and publish, like over and over and over again this cycle, you will have completed your goal. And then maybe eventually you can like teach yourself consistency, and then after that you can start improving upon it. Because the thing with me is like I've never been a consistent creative person. I've never been a consistent artist in my entire life. I go through like cycles of like extreme creativity, extreme growth, and then just like depression. And that might be a mental health thing, but I think at the layer deeper than that is true hatred of myself, and like this belief that I will never succeed, and I'm bad, and I'm not good at art, and I'm not good at creating, and everything I create sucks. Why would I want to succeed if I believe that? Why would I want to help a artist that sucks succeed? Like that doesn't make any sense. So I've been actively deconstructing that belief so I can actually focus on my art and make stuff. And it's exciting, and I think this book is really helping me with like my art and my journey and like the things that I want to do. So there's more than just 2 assignments every week. There's like around like 8 or 10. And one of the assignments I loved this assignment. This is so great because, especially for me, because I can't decide to do one thing with my life. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't, like I need at least 20 lives to do over, because there's like a billion things I'm interested in. But one of the assignments is alternative lives, or like different lives, where you write out 5 to 10 lives that you would lead if you had more than one. So like if you want to be an artist, a therapist, a plumber, a rock star, a DJ, like all these kinds of things. And I write down my list, and then part of the like task was to implement that interest in some way into your life. And so I picked being a singer-songwriter, and I started playing around with some songs and writing some stuff on GarageBand on my iPad, and it was scary because I'm not good at music, because I never practice it because I'm scared of being bad, and I am bad, but that's the whole point, is like trying. I'm dipping my toes a little bit in the water of like music, and obviously with like my books, lyricism and songwriting kind of go hand in hand with the way that I like to write my books, so I'm using that as kind of like a vehicle to jump over, and it's scary, but it's fun. I wrote a song about ducks. It's great. I might never release. We'll see. Actually, I will add it to the end of this video as the outro, because that would be cute. Sorry, I didn't even say what the first chapter was about. So we have the basic tools, and then The first week is recovery and a sense of safety. So that was kind of the theme. We're trying to lay out a sense of safety for your inner artist to kind of thrive. And part of that was figuring out what your negative beliefs are around being a successful creative person. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with like hating myself. Like, one of my core negative beliefs is that I'm a bad person and that I'm a bad artist. And I'm also like, my body doesn't work because I'm disabled. So like I can never be an artist because my body doesn't even work properly. So part of it was like writing down these things and then creating an affirmation as a mirror for them to be like, I suck. Well, I'm still making art anyways. Or like, I'm behind. No, I'm exactly where I need to be. Like, and tailoring it specifically for like the specific negative belief. I think they're called blurts in the book. That's hard for me to say, so I'm saying negative beliefs instead, which is longer, but it's easier for me. So yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to discuss. I was really inspired by Doji's series where she goes through this same book. I want to watch the series so bad, but I don't want to spoil myself for the book. But I thought, why not like record my thoughts about it, especially if I'm going through it by myself. I'd like to have it I like having a dialogue with myself that I can look back and see like what progress I've made, the thoughts that I have about the book, because I have a hard time reading, guys. Like, reading is not my attention span. I definitely have some kind of, I know I have CPTSD, but it might also be ADHD because I be struggling a lot. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, that's kind of the recap of the first week. I'm super excited. I think I'm gonna do 12 videos of these. If no one watches it, I still want it for myself. So yeah, and I post videos every Friday, so look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!